Welcome to my presentation. My name's Gary Hancock. I'm the Undergraduate Director for the Innovation and Entrepreneurship program, the Bachelor of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And what I'm going to be talking about today is not so much about that program specifically. I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail, but hopefully you'll get a taste and an understanding of why you would actually study something like that. So I'm just going to go through a few slides. I'm hoping to leave plenty of time for questions afterwards. So if you don't mind just hanging on to your questions until we finish the end, just to make sure I get through it all, that'll be really great. Okay, so without any further ado, why would you study? What type of person, if we want to use that sort of vernacular, would think about coming through and doing something like an innovation and entrepreneurship program? The first thing is, if you're looking for a career path that is creative and innovative, in other words, it's not going to be the same next year as it's going to be in a few more years' time. Things are changing, all right? We all know that business generally, and life in particular, is on a fairly rapid progress of change. If you think just back a few years at the changes in certain aspects of our lives, it's been really significant. 10 years ago, there was no Facebook, there was no Twitter, right? These sorts of things have really only just come through in the last few years. I remember starting my career path off, and there was no internet. Okay, just the other day, my daughter said to me, "Oh, can you imagine if we lost power? I wouldn't be able to look up the internet. Can you imagine what life would be like without the internet?" And I had to explain to her that probably more than half my life I lived without an internet. All right, so things are changing rapidly. We tend not to see them as it is today, but those of you who are looking for career paths that actually drive that change, are part of that change, embrace the change, this is the sort of program you might be interested in. What these people are looking forward to is to differentiate themselves from others. This is not the type of program that you're going to come into with 800 other students. Okay? This is not a Bachelor of Commerce, this is not a Bachelor of Science, it's not even a Bachelor of Engineering. Okay? You're not going to be starting with a very, very big cohort of others. People who come and do this program are looking to do something different. If that scares you, and I don't mean that in a mean way, okay? If you're not comfortable with that, this is not the type of program for you. If, however, you think my future lies somewhere different to all the pathways that exist there at the moment, this might be something that you might want to start thinking about. So, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be an innovator, if you want to work for an innovative company, if you want to work for companies that are putting new products and new technologies into the marketplace, these are the sorts of skills that we can address. Okay, so that's basically the type of person that what they're looking for at this program. We're future-oriented. The big difference between this program and all the other traditional business programs, whether they be finance, commerce, economics, MBAs, all over the world, is that they tend to be concentrating on measuring what has just happened and trying to extrapolate that to the future. Entrepreneurs don't think like that. They might look at what's happened and think, okay, now how can I change that? What does the future hold if I impact the future and I have an impact to be able to change it? Entrepreneurs believe that their actions today will actually change the future. So they're, we postpone, thank you. So, entrepreneurs like the change, they like complexity, they love it when there's ambiguity in the environment, okay? I can guarantee there are entrepreneurs all over the country at the moment thinking about the next general election, which is going to happen very shortly, and making plans. Now, if this happens, I think there's some opportunities here. If that happens, there are opportunities over there, which is a bit different from a lot of other people, and you would have heard them all thinking, oh my God, if Rudd gets in, this is going to do this and that and the other. Oh no, if Tony Abbott gets back in, it's going to do this. And it's all looking at the negatives. Entrepreneurs think, well, there's going to be change. Brilliant, bring it on. Bring on the change, because change means opportunity for me. Okay, so that's the change in thinking of the future. So this is the concept of what we're doing rather than establishing, well, what's happened in the past. So now, one of the big questions I always get asked, can you honestly teach entrepreneurship? Aren't entrepreneurs just entrepreneurs? Aren't they just born like that? Aren't they just, something funny in their DNA which makes them different to the rest of us? We know through many, many, many years of research now that just is not the case. Okay? I can teach any one of you how to be an entrepreneur. Whether you choose to be an entrepreneur is your decision. But there is no personality type. We do know that if you're going to be successful in business, that you do need a sense of I guess, self-confidence. You do need a sense of you want to impact on the future. You do need a sense of having what we call an internal locus of control, and that means what I do impacts what happens to me. We don't believe in luck. Okay, we do believe that you can be in the right place at the right time. But guess what? Those lucky entrepreneurs who are in the right place, right time, still chose to take that opportunity and do something with it. Because everybody ends up in the right place, right time at some times. The difference is choosing whether to do something with it or ignoring it, or not even recognizing it's there. And this is the type of education which will help you recognize that you're there. So it's about what people do. It's about the way you behave. It's about the skills and knowledge that you develop for yourselves. You go out and you find out things. There's lots and lots of entrepreneurs who enter into marketplaces that they're not experts in, but they've worked out how their existing knowledge base is going to work for them in that particular area. So we can talk about that. It's exactly the same argument that happened in about the 1970s and 80s, for those of you who remember this, some of the, a bit more my generation. It was exactly the same argument about leadership. Oh, leaders are born, not made. Well, we've proven that over and over and over again, you can actually learn how to be a leader. There are techniques, there are methodologies, there are things you can learn how to lead people. And guess what? Entrepreneurs are exactly the same. Does that mean you're all going to be, if you all took it on, were you all going to be successful entrepreneurs? Of course not. Some, if everybody in this room took this pathway, we've probably got, I don't know, I'm guessing 80, 90 people in here. Maybe 7 or 8 of you would be very, very wealthy, very, very successful. Most of you would be marginally successful, I'm talking in dollar terms, and a few of you are going to go broke. But that's from a business perspective. I've gone broke. Okay, I've run my own businesses for a bit longer than I care to actually admit to now. But one of my businesses failed terribly, really, really badly. Almost lost the house, the whole works. The difference was, I continued on and I got back on the horse, if you like, and tried again. A lot of other people that I know that were in business that failed and they never ever did it again. That's a failed entrepreneur. Just because you fail a business doesn't mean you fail as an entrepreneur. So there are ways of thinking this through, of attitudes that you can develop, knowledges, and a sense of confidence that, well, okay, if this business didn't work, I've just found out one way not to do it again. Okay, and that's the sort of sense that we go through life with. So it's about what we do. It's about how we behave. It's about the knowledge that we gain along the way and how we put it all together. A bit about the program itself. There are different pathways into the Bachelor of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. There's what we call an advanced diploma level entry. So anybody who's done an advanced diploma, and that's at sort of TAFE or vocational education training sort of level, will have access to this course, and you'll have 18 months to finish your degree. We give you full credit for what you've done in your training. If you've got a diploma, you get a full 12 months, so it'll take you 2 years to complete. Or you just come in with your Year 12 SACE, and it's a 3-year degree. The first 12 months of which is your choice as to what you do. So if you're interested in science, I say go and do 12 months worth of science subjects. If you're interested in commerce, go and do 12 months of accounting. If you like arts, go and do 12 months of arts. Okay, whatever it is that you're interested in that really turns you on, go and do that at the beginning of your program. Then come to us, and now it's all about, well, with this base knowledge that you've got, how are you going to be innovative and entrepreneurial with it? You know, and that's the whole concept. Just learning innovation and entrepreneurship without something to be innovative and entrepreneurial about can be very frustrating. And there's lots of frustrated entrepreneurs running around thinking, oh, I just need an opportunity, I just need an opportunity. But you need to be in something to be able to do it. I'm working with a small family business at the moment in expanding their business. I do a bit of part-time consulting. And the head of that family was saying to me just the other day, he says, you know what, Gary, it's just amazing. The universe just gives me opportunities. I've got more opportunities than I know what to do with. And what I need you to help me, Gary, is work out which opportunities to actually take on. You know, and that's what happened when you actually get involved and get started. I distinctly remember my very, very first business was a huge decision to try and find something I really wanted to do. Once I was running my own businesses, opportunities just appeared everywhere. You know, what this program does is it helps you understand how to assess those opportunities. Which opportunities are right for you? How do you get the resources to put those opportunities together? What am I going to do with this opportunity when I'm going to take it on board? How do I get it to market? And all, you know, the usual sort of entrepreneurial skill sets that you'll need to do that. How do I write a business plan if I need to write a plan? Do I need to get money from the bank or an investor? You know, how do I actually pitch that idea? So these are the sorts of skills that you develop up. So that's the way into the program and the sort of things you do. If you did the full 3-year program, it would look something like that. And this gives you an idea of the sort of subjects that you'd be doing. The Foundations course is basically an introduction. It's a bit of everything, and it just starts you on the path. For those of you who don't end up doing the Bachelor of Innovation and do something else, you can always do the Foundations on Entrepreneurship as an elective, okay? If you're allowed to do that within your programs. We have people coming into that course from all sorts of backgrounds: engineering, science, health sciences, commerce, finance, a whole range of backgrounds. New venture marketing. Now this is taking marketing and turning it so that, well, what happens if you're a brand new business and you want to market yourself? It looks very different from a large multinational corporation in marketing, right? Mostly because you've got no money, right? You can't go off and spend a couple of $1 million on market research. You haven't got it. So how do you go and do those sorts of things? So that's the flavour of that marketing. Financing new ventures is very, very different from just financing a house, for example. There are all sorts of really creative ways of putting together a financial package for new businesses. Project management for new ventures, really important. Actually, one of the things that I mentioned before, starting a business it's about a process. You need to be able to manage this process. And the style of project management that we teach is what we call complex project management, which is a little bit different to the project management that you might have had seen or heard of, like building a house or building a building. We start this day, these are all the things that have to happen to finish then. Well, you might start off with a plan like that to start a business, but I can guarantee by the time you get this far in, things have changed. Okay, so this is about project management for things that are complex, that change, that are constantly dynamic, moving through. Planning, ethical and cultural aspects, very, very important. The applied entrepreneurship bit is, well, if I'm going to start a business, how do I do the really applied stuff? How do I get an ABN? What's the best way of setting this up? Is it as a corporation or as a partnership? And what do I have to do if I do those? Oh, here we go again. Excuse me. Is that the right one? Where's my... Oh, hang on. Postpone down there. I really should put my glasses on to read the screen down there. And so forth. All right, so, strategy and resourcing is about strategic thinking in what you're doing. Innovation creativity, probably one of the most popular courses that we run. That's also available as an elective. And for example, winter school that's just gone, we run that course and we had to run it twice with really big numbers. That's the sort of thing that people just really need to know in this modern economy, how to think that way. Obviously, things like legal aspects, opportunities, and what I think the most exciting thing about this program is the project. The project at the end of all your courses is there for you to have a go. It's not particularly prescriptive in what you have to do. It tends to, that my students come to me and say, Gary, I've got one student who said, I want to start a business. I want to start a real business. So we structured the project around her starting her real business. Okay? Somebody else had a family business and said, oh, our family business wants to reinvigorate itself, wants to find new markets, and we want an innovation plan. So he was allowed to do an innovation plan as part of his project for his family business. So it's up to you as the student to come to us to say, look, this is what I really want to do. This is what turns me on in this whole entrepreneurial mindset, and I want to give it a go. So you can give that sort of thing a go with support from academics and from other industry players that we might bring in to assist in a very safe environment. There's somebody there to catch you at that first time that you're going to have a go. So I find that the project really exciting, and we've had students do everything from starting their own businesses right the way through to doing some fairly pretty sophisticated academic research. So I've got a student at the moment who's just finished his project, and it looks like the research that he did as part of that project could actually potentially become an academic publication. So it gives a fairly wide range of outcomes in that way. So that's basically it. I've got these two slides. These are the sort of structures if you come with a diploma or an advanced diploma. They're just shortened, but the core courses are all still very much the same.